Today, I wanted to talk about a very interesting topic, which is about suffering. Now, suffering can come in any forms. It can be so that we get hurtings back from others or from ourselves or from our own people. And maybe it can be a failure. It can be a crisis which we are facing. It can be a health crisis, a financial crisis, or a family loss, or grieving for from a loved ones who is no more. Maybe it can be death, it can be bereavement, it can be any sort of even personal failures, setbacks, even a breakup. So, or separation, or a marriage not working, or even um, children, our children suffering, and seeing a parent, that is also the biggest suffering. So when we suffer, we always be in a chaotic cycle, a pattern which keeps repeating, and that brings a lot of sadness, deep-rooted grief. We become disappointed. As simple as if we get betrayals, if we get hurtings, we are stuck in that same loop, and the cycle is very hard to break. We all essentially want to be liberated souls, choose freedom from suffering, and we try to escape, run away from it. But we always end up in the same loop. Do you know why this happens? So when I say this may sound a bit um, a bit more deep to understand, because we also, on the other hand, choose suffering, seek the same pain, and that's what is keep on repeating in that same pattern and cycle. We feel stuck. Just think an example where one person is very lonely, too much empty inside them. And what they do is, for seeking pleasure out of that loneliness, for seeking connections around, or social connections or friendships, the person essentially is empty, but the person goes and finds friends or relationships, and they are now happy that they are not lonely. But what they do is they end up being with toxic people. That So when this person goes to find connections, and which the connections are also toxic in nature, the person again goes back to the same suffering, or maybe the degree of the suffering increases more massively, because initially the same person was lonely. He or she could still manage their loneliness, but they chose to seek pleasure out of it, to create bonds, create connections, but they ended up being with the wrong people. And that wrong people now became detrimental for them, and that is making them more hurtful. So escaping from your reality is not going to help. Sit with your suffering. Now what you can do? You already have more pain and suffering. Sit with those. Reflect on yourself and try to love yourself. It's very hard to love self. It's easy to love. So loving ourselves is the most hardest work out there. It's easy to nurture souls, it's easy to love others, but when we look inside, inward, we transform. Because we only focus on ourselves, and very less focus goes outside us. So when you look inside yourself, you see all your, vulnerabilities, your strengths, your weaknesses, everything holistically. And that is painful, because you see the mirror, you reflect on yourself, all the ugly sides, all the good sides, all the positive sides, everything holistically. That over the time will help you in your liberation, in your journey to self-love, and where you grow. And that is not going to be easy to walk, because when you are with yourself, you sit with your inner silence, and inner silence away from the chaotic environment. Sitting with yourself is not easy. It's boring, because you keep on doing the same work, repeat your same routine every day, and there's no external validation, there's no other support systems. You just be your own. But over the time, when you hack this reality, when you start trusting yourself, when you start loving yourself, you grow. And when you grow, that's the most beautiful thing happens to you. You totally transform and transcend from your sufferings to liberated souls, because you essentially don't need anybody, no validations, no supports. Rather, you are there to give people, and in return, you just want nothing. And it's not easy to walk in that solitude, uh, that path of solitude, and because we live in a world of triggers where every now and then we are getting distracted in so many things. But blocking those distractions and working on our inner self and awakening from our consciousness to the higher level of consciousness, and then transforming ourselves, it's a painful process again. But through the pain, through the suffering, we can become free from the suffering, because the suffering itself is freedom. When we escape from the suffering, we again go towards it. That's the reality. That is what it happens. So sit with yourself, work on yourself, be proud of who you are, and love yourself. Then you will see your whole world changes. That's all. And heart it out with Sai. I'll pray that all of you are safe, happy, healthy, and wealthy. This is your friendly counselor, Sai Jundri. Bye-bye.